All right, looks like we're starting. I'm going to give you a quick roundup of the D2L Analytics. In order to do that, we land on our home page. We're using the sandbox, which is based on e-learning for educators. And you go down to class list. Don't check checklist, but check class list. Check that. And what you'll see if you land on the students page is the one student in this class. Student I set up based on myself so we wouldn't violate any FERPA rules. If you look at all, you're going to see that we have literally hundreds of instructors in this class. These are all former graduates of the e-learning and online teaching graduate certificate. We'll go back to students, and we're going to focus in on O'Connor D.XXX. Okay, what we want to look at is the progress settings for this particular student, because it's there that you're going to see how that student is doing, and it's there where you can get some really good information on the students that you're tracking in D2L. So it starts with a summary, which is useful because it gives you an at-a-glance view of the things that this student has been doing, how many visits they've made to the content, how many discussion posts they've made, if they have anything in the Dropbox, if something's awaiting a grade, if they've done a quiz, if they've attempted a quiz, checklists, progress in general, surveys. It gives you a big, long look at what this student is doing. It's the overview, login history. We'll get into that in a second. I'm going to take you into content, because we want to make sure our students are looking at the content, right? Now, it's visits to content. It's the amount of time the page has been open on the screen. We can't judge whether they've read it, comprehended it. They could just open it, walk away, have a beer, enjoy themselves, come back, and the system would say that they'd been engaged for 2 hours. No, that's not the way it measures. It's just a simple metric. These are dumb machines that we're working with here. So let's take a look at what the content progress is. There's been 10 visits, a total of 8 minutes and 36 seconds spent on those 10 visits, with 9 topics visited. I don't think the student is spending a lot of time reading. I think they're skimming. And since I was that student, I'll tell you, yes, I was skimming madly, just trying to generate some data so we can do this video. Of course, information. It says that 6 out of the 8 topics in course information have been viewed. So here are the 6 topics. I click this little toggle, topics, and it opens up and gives me additional information. So you can see I was busy there on September 10th looking at things. It tells you what sort of time links I have. And these are just things I've looked at quickly. You can interpret how deep your students are getting into things by looking at this kind of information, but you can't totally trust it because it is just simple on-off switches that the database is kicking up in this course information area. However, I would encourage you to do this, especially if you're worried about a student's participation, if you're looking for some evidence that they may not be fully engaged. Not to beat them up with the evidence, but to simply see what's going on with them as they work in the LMS. CMS, LMS, Learning Management System, CMS, Course Management System. I use the words interchangeably. Okay, let's take a look at discussion. Since many of you are going to be tracking discussion performance, this is a particularly important place to get comfortable with. We can see that there have been 2 posts read and 2 threads created for this student. That's sort of a summary of everything in the discussion area. Then you have all the different discussions in this course listed down below. We can see that all of the work has happened in the collaborative brain. If you just scroll down the page a little bit longer, you notice that there's zeros after these things. There's topics, but there's nothing created. Those zeros will help you understand what the activity is. It'll also let you zero in on a particular module, so you want to know at a glance how many posts has been read by this student, how many threads have been created, how many replies have they posted. It's right there on the screen. You don't have to scroll through everything with a spreadsheet counting it yourself. The system does it for you. That's one of the powerful things about the analytics that back up D2L course management. So as we can see that it's only in the area of the collaborative brain. If we click on those 2 topics, it'll bring it up, and we'll see that there was 1 thread created, and in this case, it gives you nothing. So let's go to the details of that one. We can see the post, I'm the only student on the land of instructors. My sense of humor comes through again. So here, again, just general principles that you can apply to your own work as an intern in D2L. Now, if you're working in Blackboard, if you're working in Canvas, if you're working in any number of other systems, if I'm working with you on a consultation basis, this isn't going to help you so much, but you will have access to the back end of Blackboard in the sandbox area, which is found, well, why don't I show you rather than tell you? If you go to Home, and you're going to see My Home, which is a mess of all the classes, but you go all the way down to the bottom here, you go to the temporary area, e-learning for educators. You can go right into there, and we're into the D2L sandbox. I hope this video hasn't been too long. I hope it does help you at least begin to investigate the analytics that are available by going to Other Tools, Class List, and then click that little delta sign there and pick View Progress. And guess what? You'll be able to view the progress of each individual student. They promised me a dashboard where you could see it all on one page, but they haven't come through with it yet. Perhaps that'll happen in the next iteration of D2L. Thank you. I enjoyed learning with you. I hope this quick video is effective for you. Now, just how do I, there, I can turn off the system now. Bye-bye from San Diego.